The audio you're about to hear was recorded in Anchor. Learn more at anchor.fm.
You're listening to Pretty Dece, the bite-sized audio blog about games, comics, movies, and more, featuring news, reviews, opinions, and impressions. So if you're a geek, we hope you think it's Pretty Dece. What's up, everybody? This is Pretty Dece, and I'm your host, Josh. And for this inaugural episode of Pretty Dece, I wanted to talk about the gaming device, the gaming handheld that has been on my mind and in my hands the most the past couple weeks, and that's the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is still, a hugely sought after item. As soon as it shows up in stock on Amazon or anywhere else, it's instantly bought out. People are hunting these things down. I've heard reports that it's going to be, hard to find through the end of the year. Nintendo's ramped up production because it has been so wildly popular. And, people are clamoring for this thing. They really, really want it. And, there've been a few hardware things here and there, a few hardware snafus. That'll happen when a console launches. You'll have some things that maybe don't quite work perfectly. That's what you get when you're an early adopter. But overall, the reception for the Switch has been incredibly positive. People are really jazzed about this machine, and I am as well. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit today and kind of get to the bottom of what I like so much about the Switch and kind of what brings that out in me. And when I think about the Switch, it really brings it back to old school gaming to me. It brings it back to sitting in front of the TV with my NES controller, playing Super Mario, on the old school CRT. And it does that because it's a handheld, and that NES original Game Boy experience was like so ingrained in me as a child. And two, the big thing that the Switch does currently that makes it feel so old school is actually a lack of what it does. Right now the Switch basically just plays games. That's all that it can do. Unlike your other modern gaming platforms, it doesn't play Netflix, it doesn't play Hulu, it doesn't have a bunch of apps in it where you can, check sports scores and watch TV and browse the web. It doesn't have any of that. It literally just lets you, put in a game, play that game. At most, it has a shop where you can go buy more games. There's no other features to this. It has a friends list, but it has no concept of that friend being online or of messaging that friend. You can't actually, you literally can't send a message to a friend that would be on the system. So it is this sort of singular purpose device. And while on paper that might seem like it is a lacking feature, it doesn't have everything it needs to have to compete with these other modern game consoles. For me, it's actually a selling point. When I sit down to play a game on the Switch, I'm not thinking about those other things. I'm not thinking that, I should see who's online to see if they want to get together for a game, or, man, so-and-so is online and I'm really worried that they wanted me to play this game with them and I would rather just watch Netflix or something, anything like that. It's not a device that is being pulled in multiple different directions, and when I sit down at it, my attention isn't being pulled in multiple directions. When I turn on the Switch, I know that I'm going to play Zelda because it is the Zelda machine. Zelda's in there, and that's all that it's going to do when it starts up, is it's going to boot that game. Whereas when I sit down in front of my PS4 or my Xbox, it pops up, there are ads all over the place, maybe I should go check the store, maybe I should go browse Netflix and see if there's anything new, or, maybe I should pop up the friends list and see what people are playing. There's lots of different things that I could be doing. My attention is pulled in lots of different directions. And I really like with the Switch, that's not the case, that it's there, and it's the singular purpose. Now I know, down the road we are going to get to the point where all of these apps get added in and we have all of these features added onto the Switch, and they're going to head in that direction, and that's fine. But as of right now, I'm really enjoying kind of that experience of just stripped down, bare bones, just playing games. Because really, when it comes down to it, that's what it's all about. It's about the games, and it's about playing those games. And I'm really enjoying that on the Switch right now. So yes, I'm very much enjoying the Switch for its stripped down nature currently. And part of it being stripped down means that everything on it currently works like a dream. Everything is so fast, everything is so snappy. Bouncing in and out of a game that's running is as quick as pressing the button and boom, it happens. Taking screenshots happens instantly. Navigating around the main menu, which is really literally just a string of games that you have purchased and then a row of buttons at the bottom for some very simple things like going to the store or adjusting how your controllers are connected to your system. All that stuff happens really fast, and all of it is very charming. It's again very stripped down, but just some really simple sounds, nice little animations, and yeah, it all works like a charm. So overall, the Switch has been a dream to interact with, a wonderful device to carry around, a wonderful device to play. That the promise of playing on the TV, picking it up, walking out the door, and playing again, that's actually true. That actually works really well. It's actually really nice. I was traveling last weekend out of town. I was playing Switch on the TV, playing Zelda. I pulled it out, packed it up in my bag, took it off, and when I was gone, I was able to continue to play. And it was nice. I even picked up a game while I was out, and was able to then, start playing that game, brought it home, dropped it in the dock, continued playing that new game. And that's really cool. You don't have to think about, well, okay, I should, find my handheld and see if it's charged. Like, no, it's just grab the Switch right out of the dock and head out. And that's really neat. So while I knew I was gonna like the Switch, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't think I was going to like it, I am kind of surprised by how much I like it. It's really captured all of my gaming time here for the past couple weeks. And a lot of times you'll pick up a new device because you just want to know about it. You want to be the person who has that new thing. And that was part of the reason for the Switch. I wanted to be kind of the first person to get my hands on one. I wanted to know about it before other people did. And yeah, it turns out the Switch is a big hit. I'm super excited for the future of the Switch. I'm super excited to see where they go with Switch games. And I'm really excited, I think most of all for, Nintendo has always been good at making Nintendo games, and I'm most excited for all of Nintendo's games to kind of be laser focused on one platform, instead of having me buy the console to get some of the games and the handheld to get the other games. I'm excited for all of those things to kind of converge into one. I'm excited for the next Pokemon game that'll show up on the Switch. I'm excited to actually play a mainline Pokemon on the big screen. I'm excited for the next Fire Emblem because those have just really been great. Yeah, I'm just excited for all of those awesome Nintendo games that only Nintendo can make to show up on this awesome little system that I'm really enjoying. And the fans out there, the people buying it, they've supported it in a really big way. So I hope we start to see developers support it as well. The typical joke with Nintendo games is that it's the Nintendo machine, because that's all it ever ends up playing are Nintendo games, because third parties just don't put games out for it. And I hope that changes here. I hope that we do see that this system becomes, and a haven for indie developers, things like that. I'd love to see awesome experiences show up on this device that aren't just things that are put out by Nintendo. But overall, really enjoying the Switch, loving my time with it. Maybe in future episodes here we'll talk about specific games that I'm playing on the Switch, but for right now, I'll say the Switch is pretty decent. So thanks for tuning in. As I said, in future installments, I want to really dive in and talk about some of the games on the Switch. I really want to talk about Zelda. I've been really enjoying Zelda. I want to talk about The Binding of Isaac, which I've been really into. So we'll dive deep on some of the actual games themselves instead of just talking about the hardware as we did today. But thanks for tuning in. Glad you were here. If you liked what you heard, please favorite us on Anchor.